everyone, welcome back to Vickie's Country Home. Today I'm just gonna do kind of a channel update, a haul, and just a couple of other things that I thought maybe you would be interested in. So there's just a lot to cover. We are still dealing with terrible roads from the storms that came through in February. Our creek crossing, our one way in and one way out, almost completely washed out. It's hanging on there, but it's deteriorating and it's terrible shape, and I'll probably show some pictures a little bit later. Those same storms had so much water that our septic, the leach field, is just saturated, and our leach lines are at least 5 to 6 feet underground. And this is so not normal for us because we're high desert. We don't get this kind of water. So it is still draining really slow. We're still washing dishes in buckets and collecting water in buckets and throwing it outside because we don't want it backing up. So hopefully we're going to get enough dry weather soon that will get fixed. This beautiful big piece of art, my refrigerator back here, still has not been repaired from breaking down around the 1st of February. They've tried to come out 3 times and the roads were impassable, and they need their van for the equipment. They can't get here. So we're praying that this week that we get this fixed, because right now it's just a big giant, I guess, piece of art. So that's kind of an update on the homestead. This has definitely been a challenging winter for us, and yes, some of it was snow that was deep, but a lot of it was just snow and melt and rain and just wet, and that's been our biggest issue. And I have to show you this cool apron. My neighbor makes these, and she had made me another one, and I had expressed interest that I would like another, so she made me another one, and there's a surprise that goes with it, but I'm not telling you about it today. So Judy, thank you. I love my aprons. They cover all the way around. It's great. I love them. All right, going on to other things. Mrs. Katie over at Heritage Ways, beautiful lady. You need to check out their channel, Heritage Ways, on YouTube. Has been putting together a cookbook for many years, and she just got it published. So I, of course, jumped right on it right away and placed my order. And she has been in catering. She just has her heritage family recipes in here. So, and she's got the stories that go with everything, and I love that. So Mrs. Katie, thank you, and if anybody's interested in the cookbook, I'll leave a link to that. You can go over to her channel and order it. So I'll move that out of the way. And then this week, kind of 2 hauls, and I'm not going to show you everything, just kind of some highlights. So I placed another order with AzureStandard, and they deliver in a truck once a month to my area. And you go into town and they deliver Sunday morning at 8:30. So this morning, while it was snowing like crazy, Shayna and I drove to town and met the truck and got my order. I ordered for the first time last month and I loved what I got. I still haven't gotten to try a lot of it, mostly because of our issues with the water. I just don't want to do a whole lot of extra water that we're tossing around because it's nothing's drying up. But I'll be getting to those recipes, I hope, really soon. So today's order from AzureStandard, I'm not going to show you everything again, but I will show you some. They have organic herbs and spices in bulk. So I order, and you get a better price with a larger amount. So I go through a lot of thyme and some others here. And the thyme, it was four ounce packages. So there were 4 of these. And I will let you know what I paid for those. 4 4-ounce packages was $14.55, and this is the organic, and it is the sifted and really fine. So I will be storing this away sealed and using one at a time, but that's a really good price, and I do use a lot, so that was good. And anybody that watches me know that I love to use whole cumin seed, cumino. And mostly what I end up doing is going to the Mexican spice section and buying the little bitty packages for $1 a piece. And I go through a lot of them. So when I saw that they had this, and it's beautiful cumin, I ordered from them, and I got 3 bags that are £1 each. And believe me, that sounds like a lot, and it is. But I will probably go through that maybe a year, because I really use a lot. And again, it's cheaper if you buy it in large quantity. So the 3 1-pound bags were $16.55. So I'm really happy about that, because these are a pain to find. If you buy it in the jars, you're going to pay a fortune. And even in the Mexican food section, it's still pretty costly. So this I thought was a very good deal. And I've put some of this away so the bag's not full. But this is dehydrated minced garlic. And I like to add this to recipes because it's not a powder, it's actually small chunks like minced garlic. But it's dehydrated, so it's a time saver for me, and I do use this on a regular basis. And this is a 1-pound package for $9.80. So prior to this, all I could find is a small jar, shaker jar, and probably 3 ounces, and I think I paid $5 for that. So this was a really good deal too. And lemon peel powder. Now I don't use a ton of this, but there's a lot of times I want to add lemon to a recipe. And I may not have lemon because I'm not going to drive to town to get it if I need it. If I have it here, I'll use it. So I thought this was great because this will give me the lemon flavor that I have, and I can easily add to something. So it was 1 pound of lemon peel powder. And yes, I could dehydrate and do all that, but that's an energy hog to use the dehydrator for anything that has that much moisture in it. So this actually for me is a better deal. I will have access to a solar dehydrator this summer, and I'm looking forward to using that. One of my neighbors has one that another neighbor built, and it's beautiful. So moving on, let's see what else I had here. Again, the spices and herbs in bulk, and I'm gonna make my own Italian seasoning, and I use a lot of that and a lot of just oregano by itself, but I use a lot of those because of all the Italian cooking we do. And I needed a good amount of marjoram. To buy the small bags cost quite a bit more, but this one is a 1 pound bag of marjoram. That's a lot, but it will get used, and I'll seal up whatever I'm not using short term. And that marjoram, let me find that. 1 pound was $7.75 for this giant bag. Now, if you buy spices and herbs in the grocery store in those little jars, you know it can cost quite a bit. And this was $7.75 for this giant 1 pound bag. So that was a good deal. And they do have some other dehydrated, maybe even some freeze-dried products. I didn't really look. But they had tomato powder. And again, it's not in a fancy can, it's just in a sealed bag. But I got a pound of tomato powder for $7.25. And that's a good price, because if you buy it even from Thrive Life and other places, it tends to cost quite a bit. I like to add this as just an extra boost of tomato if I'm making some kind of sauce or in a soup. And at this price, I can do that. So that was another thing I was excited about. So let's see what else. And also, we like to use the grass-fed beef gelatin. I give it to my little dog Tootsie because she's got a bad hip, and it has helped her so much. Her joints are, she's just moving so much better. And then Brian's been taking this too, drinking some every day. So this is the grass-fed beef gelatin, a thickening protein powder, I don't know. But again, it's a 1 pound bag of this was $17.47. So that's one I'm going to be trying out. And then, also from AzureStandard, back here behind me, I have a 25-pound bag of soft white wheat. That's better for some breads and pastries and things like that. So this is the whole wheat berries, and it's hard to find. You can sometimes find the soft white wheat flour, but I have not seen the soft white wheat berries. So I'm anxious to try grinding those up, see how it does. And that was 25 pounds for $17.34, which isn't bad. It's organic. And again, I will be, and this is an heirloom brand, so I'm going to be sealing that up and just keeping small amounts out to work with. And then I got more grain because I love their ancient grains. More of the emmer, and this was in my last video. One of these bags, I got 2 of them, but each bag is $4.60, and that's for 33 ounces. So organic emmer, and that's a good price on that one. And to go with that soft white wheat, they also had the soft white wheat organic flour. And so I got a 10-pound bag of that because I'm going to try that first and then store the wheat berries. And this 10-pound bag was $8.40. So basically the white wheat is like a pastry flour, and it's just lighter and makes wonderful pie crust, anything like that. So I'm going to be using this in some recipes soon. And another new thing I bought, I tried to get this last time, but they were back ordered. So they deducted it from my order and I just didn't get it. So I went ahead and ordered it again this time. And that's a 5-pound bag of sucanat. And what that is it's a type of sugar, but it's not as highly processed. So I'll be using this in some recipes. This cost a little bit. This is $12.93 for 5 pounds. So not something you're going to use in everything, or I won't, but I am looking forward to trying it. So again, there were a few more things at Azure Market, but those are the highlights for this trip. And so far I am very, very pleased with them, and I'll leave a link below. But the prices for things that you can't get in other places, or if you can, they're expensive, and most of these are organic. It's just, I think it's a very good deal. So then I went to Sam's this week. Now, Sam's had a deal, which is the only reason I did this, that if you bought a membership for $45, that you could get $45 off in the store. And I thought, well, they have some things that Costco doesn't, even though the store is much further away. But I went ahead and did it, and a lot of kind of problems in getting that to happen, but they did honor it, and I did get that deal, so I was happy with it. And I'll just show you a few of the things that I bought at Sam's, that some I buy anyway, and some were just different ways of packaging, and I just thought it was a good deal. So I like to use these dehydrated hash brown potatoes. This is the Golden Grill brand. And normally I buy it in these little bitty single-use cartons, like a little milk carton, and it's only for one meal. But sometimes that makes a whole lot, and sometimes we don't need that much. I also like to add them to my meal in a jar. And when I do that, I never need a whole carton. So I found this, the same stuff, it's just in a big carton, and this is 33 ounces, 2.06 pounds. And this carton of these hash browns was $5.98. So it was really a pretty good price on it. And again, I can measure out exactly what I need. I don't have to deal with just the little cartons. They're still useful for some meals, but there's a lot of times I don't want that much. So dehydrated hash browns. Another thing, and I use this all the time, and I have home canned my own too, but I haven't canned them in a while. It's Rotel tomatoes. Growing up in Texas, we went through Rotel tomatoes, and I still do, and we just used some the other night, and it just adds so much flavor. Usually these are over $1 a can. This box is 8 cans, and those 8 cans were $6.46. So good deal on the Rotel tomatoes. Another thing I use a lot of, and I love just making some chicken grilled on my cast iron on my range or outside on the grill. And I love to put a chili lime seasoning. And one of our favorites I usually buy at the grocery store, and that is this tagine. And normally I find this in the produce department at our grocery store. But Sam's had a 2-pack, and this was $7.77 for 2 bottles, which is going to last me a while, and that's a good price, so I was really happy on that one too. This was kind of a spice week for me. I don't know why. Yes, I do. I was running low on some things, and between AzureStandard and Sam's, I had a good opportunity to stock up. I use a ton of rosemary, and during the summer I grow it, so I do have access, but it doesn't grow crazy here like it does in other places. So I get some, but not a ton. And I use rosemary all the time. So I got a 6-ounce container, which is this large container. Now I have to find it. For $5.98. Again, I can't buy the small jar of this at the grocery store for that price. And this gives me quite a bit, and I'll use this in my Italian seasoning too. And chopped chives. There's just certain things you want that in, but it's not something I'm going to have on hand all the time. And again, I'm not driving 30 miles to go to the grocery store to pick up something like this. So this large container, 1.12 ounce container, because it's really light, of chopped chives was $5.34. Again, those prices for the size are so good that I just can't beat it. So I think that's pretty much what I have to show you today, and just figured I'd show you since I showed you the last AzureStandard, but also these things at Sam's Club. Again, I was not a member. I have a choice, and Costco is a lot closer for me. But if I didn't really have to pay for the membership, which I didn't, this made it worth it to drive down there and stock up on some things, and I'll have a year to stock up and see if I want to keep that membership. We'll see. So anyway, now that I've talked your ear off and you're probably sick of my grocery haul, I just want to thank y'all for just being such wonderful viewers, subscribers, friends. You've become like family. So I just want to thank y'all so much for being there. And my channel just keeps growing and growing, and I'm not sure why, but I'm happy, and it's exciting and very humbling. So again, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this kind of video, let me know. If you want to see more, and if you're sick of them, tell me that too, because I need to know what you would like to see instead of just whatever Vickie comes up with that day. Please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and share it with your friends. But more than anything, just God bless you all. Thank you for being there, and we'll talk again soon.